This is the 5 on 5 podcast presented by directmusicservice.com. I am Phenom. To my left is Jupiter Williams. To my bottom left is Nick Lopez from Las Vegas. And our special guest today, make some noise for Hotel Garuda.
Yeah. Poggers.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you calling him a loser with that stick?
No, it says I'm sorry, I'm a loser.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Azim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I just got back from getting COVID tested. Your boy is feeling very positive about being negative.
Yes.
So we're
Yes.
good. We're out here in the clear.
Yes.
Made sure to get all the housemates tested in time for New Year's Eve.
Yes, and I saw you hitting the pin too. So,
yes,
so you know
indeed.
it's good. It's all good. It's
all very good. Indeed.
I love it.
What we do here every week is we compare two artists head to head, their top 5 songs as viewed most popular on Spotify. We don't let you know who we're going with until the moment you step into the echo chamber. And I hope you're feeling good about this pick. It's my pick this week. We are going with Drake versus Dr. Dre.
Okay. All right.
Wait,
okay. I'll be honest with you. I can't profess to be a scholar of either discography.
Okay. Well, I'm a Drake stan.
Okay.
So this is going to be interesting.
Fair enough. I feel like I know more about Drake than I do about Dr. Dre, which probably sounds like blasphemy to most people my age. But I feel like just because I feel like my exposure to rap music was so limited when I was growing up because I mostly listened to like dad rock and like prog metal and shit, and like didn't really grow up listening to anything. The only rap music I listened to was like, I think I had 50 Cent's The Massacre, and I had like 1 or 2 Eminem albums that my dad had in his CD case and never let me listen to because they were, explicit or whatever. But I feel like because I grew up at the time when Drake sort of started popping off, I feel like I'm more familiar with this shit.
Hey, real quick, move your mic up a little bit more.
Is that better?
Go. Yeah, that's a lot
Perfect.
better. There we go. Yeah. Yes.
It started to trail off, and I thought you were getting taken away by the wave. And I was like, no.
Wait.
Like, come back.
I'm
Come
back.
back.
I'm here.
I was gonna toss you a volleyball.
I've been taking so many Zoom meetings like with this beach background going on and shit, and people are like, "Are you at home?" I'm like, "I'm very at home. Trust me. I made myself at home."
It's funny to me that somebody would be convinced by this.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, look, I'll be real with you. Like a couple of times, my grandparents have seen me playing video games. I used to play FIFA a lot, and they'd be like, "What are you watching? Like who's playing right now?" I'm like, this could be me in 30 years. I could be watching my grandkids play a game that I think is real life.
Yes, absolutely. That is very true.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
You know what I mean?
That is
I
fair.
can see that. They're getting clean and
Dude, for real. Are you guys gamers? Are
I
you
can
guys
see
big
that.
gamers?
Yes. So.
yeah, I am.
So,
Any
yes.
of you guys played Cyberpunk yet?
You know what? It's off of PlayStation, so no, I haven't yet.
Same.
Right.
They took it off.
They took it off of PlayStation because they just said fuck you to everyone who owns a current generation console.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. In
They
my
were just
poor
like,
ass
oh.
right now.
They're like, "Oh, you don't have a top tier PC? Sucks to suck."
That's exactly how I felt too. I was like, all right,
Dude.
fuck it.
It's rough, man. Oh man. Anyway,
I do want to play Cyberpunk though. I'm really excited to play that game.
it's very sick.
Oh, totally. We will get into that because I have a lot of video game questions actually.
Oh,
first.
what? You're
Please.
saying that we can't get into it right now?
We're about to get into this battle right now.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go.
Round number 1, gentlemen. Laugh Now, Cry Later from Drake or Still Dre by Dr. Dre?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Spotify algorithms, they're going to put all of Drake's new popular stuff up. Dang it.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoever wants to start on this one.
Like I said, this is not really my wheelhouse, but I kind of like that because it means I can just kind of spout whatever pseudo scientific shit comes to my head, and it might work out.
Yeah.
It might not. For the for the sake of argument, I'm gonna listen to this song at the same time. Oh, I know this song. Yeah, okay. For a second, I didn't know which song you were talking about. That's how little I listen to Drake. I love this song though. The song is fire. Laugh Now Cry Later is a banger for sure.
Okay. Are you picking that over Dr. Dre?
I don't know. Still, Drake kind of feels much more iconic than Laugh Now Cry Later. It doesn't feel Laugh Now Cry Later doesn't feel like an artist-defining song the same way that Still Dre is an artist-defining song to me.
Travis has thrown up the rock. Interestingly enough,
It's not interesting.
I don't know what that means.
If you know the history of this song, it's not interesting.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I totally understand why. Because Hove wrote Still Dre.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did. Yes, he did.
I didn't know that, and
Yep.
now I do.
Gonna go with Still Dre for that one. Even though Drake shot Laugh Now Cry Later in Beaverton, Oregon, at the Nike campus where I used to work at, and at the employee store where I used to shop at a lot. I still do shop there. It's a bad store to shop at because everything is half off or 40% off, and it's amazing. And it's like walking into heaven of shoes and Nike gear.
Socks.
Socks. Yes.
Dude, I'd be
Dude,
stocking up.
I love the
$5.
Nike campus.
Yes.
Last time I was out there, I went to the Nike campus. Colin took me, and I cannot wait to go back when COVID isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought so many socks at that store when I was on tour there, like a year and a half ago.
I love it.
I think I
So
found
sick.
out because one of the people I was touring with, I think his classmate or something worked at that store.
Mhm.
He was like, "Yeah, we got you guys, the what is it, the day pass or like the right?"
Yep.
And so I don't think I've ever spent that much money on socks
Right.
in my life.
Right.
Like,
You gotta.
yeah, I got socks for me. I got them for my dad. I got them for my brother. I got them for my girlfriend. Like, dad wanted some like running gear. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to ship this to Singapore somehow. But like, I'm just gonna send you pictures of all these things. Just tell me which ones you want.
Yes.
Say less.
That's how it is. That's how it is. I couldn't go that day, so I hit up Nika. I say, hey, find me these shoes or these shoes or these shoes. That's how it is. Whenever somebody goes to the employee store, it's like, oh, you're going? Here's a list of stuff that I need.
Yep.
So I'm notoriously a Drake hater,
Okay.
and this is one of the songs that's been making me like, maybe he's not that bad.
Oh.
I genuinely
okay.
like this song.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
I like this song, not more than I like DRE though.
Okay.
The Chronic 2000, is it 2001 or is it just 2000? album.
What? Chronic 2000?
The album is called The Chronic 2000, right? Or is it The Chronic 2001?
I thought it was
why
just
am I
called The
spaced on
Chronic.
this?
Well, the second one.
Oh, okay.
2001.
2001.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
2001. Why am I
So-
spacing that?
This album is like, it's one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. So, Still DRE is a classic for fourth grade Neek.
Yes.
That's fair. You're gonna get a lot of nostalgia from Dr. Dre's side of things tonight.
Not so much Drake, right?
Not so much Drake. No.
Okay.
I think it's because like because Drake is in an era where like people have like memorable associations to songs in different contexts than they did probably 10-20 years ago.
Mhm.
Like for me, when I think of like when I listen to On Fire by Lloyd Banks, for example, just to give you like a completely out of nowhere, right? When I think of that, I know exactly where I was sitting in my friend's TV room or whatever, watching the music video and like calling into this channel on TV to request the music video. Like that's a specific memory I have, but any memories I have of Drake songs are like, what viral video did I see this in?
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
what
Right.
TikTok
Yeah.
dance was made to this song.
Yeah.
Like I feel like kids are gonna remember it like that versus remembering like specific nostalgic moments and like
Yeah.
remembering where you were, who you were with when these songs played around you, I guess.
Oh, that's
That's a good way to put
it.
it.
We'll give that to Dre then.
Okay.
That one will go to Dre. Let's take it to round 2 here. Ooh, it's gonna be some features tonight from Drake. Pop Star featuring Drake versus the next episode from Dr. Dre.
Bro, this is not even close.
Yeah, man.
Not
Yeah.
even close. It has to be Drake. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see your face. I'm a notorious DJ Khaled hater.
Okay.
And I don't think I have. I mean, I don't think I'm one of a few. I think there's a lot of DJ Khaled haters. So I feel like
There's a lot out there.
I feel like DJ Khaled is a brand, and as such, the song might as well just be a Drake song.
And
Also, like I'm not like a Drake head. Maybe I'm not a Drake stan. So like, this is not a song that's on any of the playlists that I carry into the next year.
Sure.
What about you guys?
For me, it feels like this feels like a Drake song that he had in the vault that Khaled was like, yo, I need to finish this album, or I need to put out a song. I'm on the hook with Epic to put out some music. Can you throw me a couple songs? Here's Pop Star, here's Grease. Here you go. And which, you know, of course, since it's Khaled and since Drake is like a cheat code when it comes to music and hot music, you know, it rose to the charts. And the video is great. I love the video with having Justin Bieber in it, you know, going to sleep, having a dream that he was Drake, you know, running through the house with all his boys and girls and stuff. Love the video concept and with that. But yo, 5 seconds into next episode, man, you already know.
Yeah.
You already know what's going on.
No, it's like that song, and you know, back that ass up. You know, right when you hear those chords, it's it's like that Prince Harry.
It's over.
You know, once that song comes on, he's out of his chair and he's running. Dre.
This is the other Drake song that I've liked.
Oh, what? Me?
The last two singles I liked, and that's the first time I've ever like heard a Drake song and been like. And I'm usually like automatic fuck this, but man, this is pinnacle rap. Rap, it's Dre all day. Like a song that I just think is cool and don't hate is not going to compete with this.
Right.
You know the West Coast is back for you, motherfucker.
Yeah. I wanted to go to, I remember being pissed that I couldn't go to Up and Smoke, and the homie brought me a shirt, and I was like hyped. I was trip walking in the 4th grade.
Yeah, see? There we go. Let's go, Neat. Little Neat. Yes.
Smoke weed every day at the end, it's like legendary.
Yeah.
Iconic. That defined a sound, defined an energy.
Hey.
I was like 12, and I was like, smoke weed every day.
And your parents are like, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that works out for him.
I remember when I didn't know that was part of the song.
Oh,
explicit version. I heard it and I was like, turn that down. Where I get this taken away.
That'll be another sweep for Drake.
Yeah, that's another one.
Let's take it to 3. 3's a little bit better, I think. Life is Good, Drake and Future versus Forgot About Dre.
Yo, Forgot About Dre.
Okay.
Forgot About Dre. I mean, I do love Life is Good, working on the weekend like usual. And then the switch up with Future, what was great, and just goes into straight Future trap and just forget about anything that Drake did. And then right back into the song. I love that. And I just love them having fun in the video.
Video's great.
Yeah. The video is phenomenal. I think, like you said, I think it's that Future feature, that Future switch up that makes that song not ordinary. Right? And otherwise it would have just been any other Drake song, but then Future comes in and says absolutely outlandish shit like he always does, speaking the most random, like, psychotic shit that he always does.
And then after every bar, he's like, I love that. Love that part. But forget about Dre. Forget about Dre. It's like you never heard Dre rap that type of rap.
Right.
And then not only was he rapping about that type of rap, he was saying some shit that was sunning everybody in rap, and he's even sunning Eminem in it. But it becomes so fire with it by talking about burning down a house.
Wait, let me interrupt you guys. Did Dr. Dre have to wrap up to Eminem's level on this one, do you guys think?
Well, whoever wrote it for him.
Who wrote it? I feel like M probably wrote it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think M wrote it too.
If I had to guess.
To interject, right? Okay, wait. So I have a question about the format of this inspection, right? Of this inspection of 5 songs across different artists.
Yeah.
Would you agree that because Dr. Dre has had these hits of his come out so much longer ago that they've had a lot more time to marinate, and as such, his top 5 is more reflective of what his top 5 absorbed songs are, his top 5 most appreciated songs are, versus someone like Drake, whose top 5 changes every 6 months.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, and that's the beauty
100%.
about this battle,
right?
Is because we're going against Spotify's algorithm,
okay,
not our personal choice, but our personal choice comes in what Spotify's algorithm has given us.
Yeah.
So
okay.
With Drake stuff,
I feel that though. You're right. Like
you're
in some
right.
matchup scenarios, you want to give it to like people that are kind of like contemporaries to each other. But in this scenario, like Drake has been making hits, like big hits for like 15 years now. But I mean, like the last Dre hit, the last album was great.
I don't remember the last Dre album.
Years ago.
Like
the last Dre album was good. It was
Compton.
Was it Doctor's Advocate? Oh, Compton. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
And that was like a minute ago now, like 5 years ago now, but it was huge. But I mean, Drake made a song probably yesterday that hit. So
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
While we're recording this, there will be a new Drake song dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time this episode comes out, there'll be a new Drake song.
I just got a Spotify notifications. Drake just dropped a song, and it's already at the number 1.
It's already. That's how it is.
My pick, Dre. This is the first time I heard Eminem.
Okay.
Oh,
And,
I heard this song a lot later in my life, but I would still go Dre for sure.
Okay.
Damn, this is all 4th grade. This is like big aftermath. This is
Yeah.
That's another sweep for Dr.
Yeah, that's another sweep. I mean, Dre and M wrote this song. I'm pretty sure M wrote his verses, so that's why you get the cadence that Dre is spitting like, and yeah. So we've never heard Dre spit like that. So
yeah, it's tough. This is that's a fucking solid song. That one aged.
Yeah.
Like, well, a lot of songs like aged from that era. You're like, that one's still palatable.
4. Let's take it to 4 here. Gentlemen, this might be another sweep. Drake, Grease, or Dr. Dre, Nothing But a G Thing.
Dang it.
What was Drake's song?
Grease.
I love Grease.
DJ Khaled and Drake.
I love Grease. And I've heard a version of Grease without DJ Khaled on it, and it sounds even better. It does. But I don't know about a G Thing, man.
I like this
and that sample too. The sample is.
Neek, are you going Drake?
Drake's been on a roll for me right now. I like Grease.
It's one of my favorite.
It's not my pick at all.
It is one of mine. I love the song.
This isn't my, like, as far as like this round, not even close, but I like Grease.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go Dre.
Okay. All right.
Grease is very relevant at the times for guys that fly girls out, because that's what the song.
It's some simp ass.
It is
shit that I don't fuck with. Like what's weird. That's crazy you say that, because these are the type of songs that make me hate Drake.
Fair.
Like this is why I hate Drake, because he's on that bullshit.
Certified lover boy.
He's a certified simp, soft tissue paper.
Yo.
Like, this is not how I like my rappers.
Kleenex on the nightstand type guy.
Yeah, I don't like this shit. Flying girls out,
but
taking them, buying them person.
But
you know what's funny? There's probably there's a very specific small subset of people that relate to this song so hard.
Oh yeah.
And it's all I promise you, it's 100% DJs who have seen a little bit of money, like enough to like fly a person out one time, but not to buy them anything. Like you can pay for their air ticket, but they're paying for their bags. They're paying for the luggage. You know what I mean?
all their other shit they're on.
The text,
yeah, that specific set of people relates to this song so hard. Yep, like to feel like they're bawling.
The text
it bothers me. It bothers me because like there was a time when this shit wasn't tight. Like this wasn't something to brag about, and now Drake does it, and all of a sudden like, oh, I flew her out and I bought her a bag. That makes
and
you
all of a sudden you're looking like a hater. Now you're looking like a hater.
Yeah.
Now I sound like a hater because I'm like, that shit is not. That's not what players do, dog. That's not.
Nick's like, why don't you fly me out, man?
Yeah, fuck that shit. Fly me out, dog.
Hi, let's have a conversation. Fly me out. Let's have a conversation about player etiquette.
Fly me the bag.
That's hilarious.
Take me out to dinner, Drake.
Think of this.
Oh man.
That's another sweep for Dr. Dre.
Yeah, man. This is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Drake is one of those titans where a lot of people say, I don't know who can go toe to toe with with Drake, and so far,
well, it's like we said, it's what Spotify has given us.
Exactly. But
I take back. I don't like Grease anymore.
I
talked myself out of it.
Oh, okay. Listen to you. Okay, here we go.
Now
I can't listen to that
Here we go.
shit.
Now you really sound like a hater.
Yeah.
I talked myself out of it. I can't listen to that shit.
Neek did the refundable ticket. I'm not coming. I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
I'm not flying out to Greece. Get out of here.
To be with you, Aubrey, really?
Yeah, right.
Let's take it to round number 5. This round is a shit show. There's no way for me to make it any easier. Drake, Slide. Travis, your favorite?
Wait a minute, which one?
Juicy Slide.
Okay.
Or Dr. Dre, I Need a Doctor, featuring Eminem and Skylar Grey.
Oh God. Okay. Juicy Slide.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Juicy Slide for this one. I can dance like Michael Jackson.
I would give it to Juicy Slide only because of that line. That's literally like the only reason. I can't stand that Dr. Dre song. I hate it. Like
same.
It just seems like the age-old tale of let's make this thing that was cool like 10 years ago, but then add 3 or 4 things that are popular today.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like it was phoned in.
Yeah. When you add Skylar Grey to a track, you're gonna get the big commercial crossover song. You're gonna get the song that's gonna be in the big Hollywood summer blockbuster movie. Juicy Slide.
Did it work?
Juicy Slide.
Obviously, I mean, it's in the top 5. I guess it worked.
I would argue that Juicy Slide did an even better job because it made its way into so many TikTok videos and therefore made its way into so many other people's ears.
Yeah.
That was the
would
point.
maybe not have.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's like, I feel like they're both means to an end type songs, but just different means to different ends, right? Like,
yeah, that's exactly what I meant when I say that was the point. Like both of these songs are just like cash grabs, and I hate them both. Can I not vote? Dre won.
Dre won. Dre wins regardless of who.
Dre does win.
Dre wins.
Yeah.
I hate this round. I hate both of these songs equally.
See, Juicy Slide came out at the right time too, when everybody was at home, locked in. You know, put this song on, give him something to do, and he gives you the directions. It's just like the Tootsie Roll. Just you know,
it's the Macarena. It's all these songs,
and I'm for it too because you know
it's the twist,
and I love the video.
2020's twist.
Yeah. Yes.
It's crazy to me that like in 2020, I mean, of course, like it's basically the early 2000s all over again, where we're making songs that are clearly commercial grab bags. Like the fact that like this was the first, like TikTok dances and songs were a thing. If it was a popular song, somebody was going to make a dance out of it. but this is the first time I heard a song that was made intended for people to make a dance on TikTok for, and it was making me sick. This isn't like palatable music.
I love it.
It's a commercial.
It's an ad.
It's an ad. That's not like, it's not a song.
It made me feel. It made me feel. You know, I relate to this, dude. I get it. Like, I feel the same thing. I think you're feeling every time fucking Jason Derulo pops up on TikTok. I'm like, why, bro? Like, why? Like, it's him with whatever like 16-year-old is popular on TikTok that week or that month or whatever, and Will Smith, of course.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm just like, dude, please be more blatant, please.
Yeah.
I dare you.
I just love Tootsie Slide because Drake came and stunted on everybody in the game, showed off his house, was wearing a mask in his house, danced throughout his damn house, and then went out to his backyard and lit off fireworks.
Like everybody was. That's crazy. Everybody was doing. Why was fireworks a thing? That's a different podcast.
And that's egregious.
Oh no, you're cutting out.
Different context.
You're cutting out.
You're cutting out. We've been.
I said that was egregious on another level. It's like in a different context entirely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's a deep layer to this onion.
Yes.
That I will spare everyone from.
We're not even going to go into the songs that we thought should be on here because the list is so fucking long.
The list is crazy long. I mean, come on, at least put Chicago Freestyle on it.
There's
something from So Far Gone. I feel like should be on Drake's
the whole
top.
Views album, maybe the whole Take Care album.
There's a million songs that we could put on.
Yeah.
We're gonna take you, Azim, straight into the lightning round. A lightning round is going to be a this or that. You can give as much information or as little information about your pick as you choose.
Okay.
Or simply just shout your pick and we will keep it moving. First, we will ask you Jay-Z or Bruce Springsteen?
Springsteen.
Trick Daddy?
Wait. I'll elaborate.
Okay.
Just because Jupiter is throwing up the triangle right now.
He won't stop.
I said at the start of the recording that I grew up listening to like Americana, like the Eagles, and like that sort of I don't know, that kind of vibe, that kind of energy is really what inspired me to go into making music to begin with. And I feel like I have phases. I have like a month at a time where I'll listen to like the same 4 rap songs on repeat for the whole month. But then after that, I kind of always find home base listening to the Stones or Springsteen or Dire Straits, things like that. Like real dad rock shit. You know what I mean? Like the shit that our dads and like our older cousins and stuff were smoking weed to back in the days.
The Home Depot playlist.
The Home Depot playlist. The Lowe's fucking rinsers, the rinse and repeaters. Yeah.
No, that's fair, man, and we respect that opinion. Trick Daddy or Gucci Mane?
Gucci Mane.
Ludacris or Juvenile?
That's hard. That's tough. I would say Ludacris only because I know more of his work. Okay. I think that growing up outside of America was it kind of tinted my lens with how I view like pop music from America anyway. Like I probably heard less than 5% of the songs that were popular at the time they were popular in America. Like I probably heard them years later. Like I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 years later. I didn't hear Back That Ass Up for the first time until I was a freshman in college here. And that was in 2011.
Wow.
So like,
wow.
So, super distorted, super completely distorted. But I knew so much about Ludacris because, of course, he was in the Fast and Furious movies. I know that he was one of the first rappers that I recognized that was like making cool music and also kind of cool doing this acting shit. Like it was him and Andre 3000 were the only people I knew that did that in that space. I would have to go Ludacris because of how many times when he says big right? How many times that sample has been used and how much that sample haunts me, I will give it to Ludacris for sure.
Okay. Playing into your likes here, Weezer or Blink-182?
Blink-182. I feel like I never got into Weezer. Probably I just didn't have the attention span for it. But I did get into.
You're chilling on an island in the sun right now.
Right.
Dad joke. I'm here.
I feel like even that sort of moment in music, like where Fall Out Boy, Paramore, Blink-182, all these bands had like specific like a time period where that was the only thing anyone I knew listened to.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, I don't think I got into like either of their discographies, and I never sort of listened to albums start to finish. I would only ever get like the bootleg compilation CDs that were sold at the mall that you would buy fake video games at, because that's like the majority of the time, the majority of sort of digital media I consumed would be bought at these malls where they would literally have like vats of CDs, and they were selling them for like $1 a CD, and it would just be compilations of anything. Like you could literally like go up to a dude and he would hand you like those like CD folders with a zip on them, right? He would hand you one of those with like 500 like fake PlayStation 2 games on it, and he would be like, "Yeah, take your pick. They're $1 each." Right? And the same would be true for music. And like some of the stores, even like some of the legit stores in where I lived in Jakarta, a lot of times you would buy a CD from there, and it wouldn't be an actual like recording from a recording company. It would be just some person who like paid to have this compilation made and sold copies of it. And so like I have random compilations of like pop punk shit, of like 80s like old school jams or whatever, and I can't find them. I can't like metadata like tag my shit like an obsessive compulsive maniac like I want to, because these compilations don't actually exist. Like they're just somebody's playlist that was burned to a CD and sold with a sticker on it.
Yeah. Just like for real bootlegs.
Yeah.
That's sick though.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, Blink-182. Yeah, long story short, Blink-182 for sure.
I love it.
Mariah or Whitney?
Gotta say, not super familiar with either one of them in the sort of like, I don't know any of their hits off like the top of my head, except for I know Mariah Carey, the she's big with Christmas. I know she's big in Christmas celebrating communities. I support that. I feel like I have more sort of like legacy appreciation for Whitney Houston, because I feel like so much of her shit has been remixed and flipped and sampled, and like wasn't there the whole drama about how like Pusha T like didn't he use like a picture of her like vanity or something on his cover?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fucking brutal. That was metal as fuck. But I think I would give it to Whitney, because I feel like Mariah Carey is more of just like a basic commercial act, whereas Whitney Houston sounds more sounds like there's more substance. I don't know.
Sure. They don't get easier from here. Let me ask you, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
That's what you're looking for.
A man.
Why would you do this to me? All right. I don't know if I should answer this as like as a producer, as an artist, or as just a listener of music, because the answer varies. The answer varies either way. Okay, so as an artist, Prince, because man was the absolute kaleidoscopic manifestation of artistic ability, because like man did everything, produced, wrote. He was just that kind of person. Michael Jackson obviously like had a lot of people write with him, write for him, and as such his music has a more refined perhaps quality to it, and it's I guess like it's art by committee done really, really well. Like Michael Jackson to me is like the perfect pop product. Like I don't think anyone's ever going to come close to that. I don't think anyone has come close to it since. Maybe Drake. maybe, but even then he can't dance like Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? He raps about it, but that's what he's famous for. He's famous for rapping about shit. He's not famous for being like an all-encompassing sort of superstar. So as a listener of music, as a fan of personas, as a fan of, you know, people who strike something of an iconic tone as people, Michael Jackson maybe. And that's only because he was just sheerly massive. And even then, I still have to find a little bit of conflict in myself and say maybe Prince, because Prince was also a bad motherfucker. Yeah. Perhaps the baddest of all motherfuckers. The purple one cannot go underspoken about in that regard. I think that if not for Prince, the community that we have, the community that has grown of people who make their own music and people who were forced to do different jobs than they would normally do in the music making process, I don't feel like that work ethic and that workflow sort of would have been accelerated as much if not for people like Prince. So as a creative, as an artist, Prince, but as a sales product, as someone who can be sold to anyone, anywhere, Michael Jackson.
I like that.
I love that.
That was great.
Yeah. You will get a unanimous thumbs up from all three of us.
Cool. Sick.
We will dive up out of the water for a sec with this one. Madonna or Britney Spears?
Britney Spears. Okay. More recent hits.
Sure. Tupac or Biggie?
Again, blasphemy, but I never grew up listening to either one. I feel like even my appreciation for that is probably still yet to blossom. I know like each of their famous songs or whatever. I can't claim to be an expert on either, but from what I've heard, Biggie, I would say.
Okay.
In my limited experience.
Fair.
I love that you're like kind of inexperienced in that. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I want to listen to Ready to Die for the first time.
Yeah.
Takes notes.
We'll take you into your field on this one. Beatles or Beach Boys?
Beatles, because not every Beatles song is great, but every Beatles song is a perfect song.
Ooh.
Oh.
Because they had to. Okay, I have again as an doing all things creative. Fuck is his name for the Beach Boys?
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson, yeah. I think he was obviously like the real force behind that band.
Sure.
But I think the Beatles just had 4 of him, and they all kind of just. It was like a perfect a zeitgeist. Is that the right word?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's just a collision of so many different incredibly talented creative people that you could only get perfection from them. I feel like I've definitely listened to more Beatles than I have listened to the Beach Boys. But I feel like anytime I listen to the Beatles, I feel like I hear something new in songs that I've heard a lot of times. And it's even more crazy to me that the unremastered versions of the Beatles stuff, like the stuff that's only mixed in mono left and right, before they obviously did all the remasters in the 90s or whatever, right? The unremastered stuff sounds better than the remastered stuff to me. And it's more distinct, it's more unique. It doesn't have that like spackle of commercial production put on it. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't know. I feel like Beach Boys, as far as songwriting, definitely is up there with the Beatles. And I think that songwriting wise, phenomenal songs both ways. But you can't, like, the Beatles just had just the sheer number of phenomenal songs, and the fact that they're just like songwriting machines. I can't say much wrong about that. Sure. Beatles.
Okay. Keeping it in the same neighborhood here, Phil Collins or George Michael?
Ooh. Okay, this would have been a good question to ask my dad. Should I get him on FaceTime? Let me get him on FaceTime real quick.
Oh, this would be great. Yeah.
It's noon in Singapore, so that's good. Let me call him.
Exclusive shit.
Hey, I'm on my friend's podcast right now, so we're recording an interview thing, and they're asking me if I had to pick between Phil Collins and George Michael, and why, right? So I said this would be a good question to ask you. What would you say, Phil Collins or George Michael, and why? Phil Collins, that was easy. Okay, why?
Virtuosity, range of music, not just the chick flick stuff.
Okay, all right, good to know. I'll pass on the comments.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, he can play everything, do everything. Yeah, I get it. Fair enough.
Beatles or Beach Boys?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Second question: Beatles or Beach Boys? Beatles. He said Beatles too.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We can continue. We can continue this discussion in a little bit, but I'm gonna get back to the recording. All right, I love you. Bye bye. He said Phil Collins because of the same reason that I said Prince. Just he could do everything, could perform every function, and in his words, not just the chick flick stuff. I mean, let's be real here. George Michael also had bangers, several bangers. Both of them had bangers, but from a production like musicality standpoint, Phil Collins is almost untouched. Like untouched.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. This might be one-sided, might not be. Jimi Hendrix or Carlos Santana?
Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Yes.
Oh, that's tough. And I know. Oh, you know how tough this is for me too.
I know you know
okay.
how tough it is.
This is hard too. Okay, so anyone who knows that I played guitar / learned guitar will hate me if I don't say Hendrix, but I will say Santana. Because I think Santana had a bigger influence on me as a aspiring guitar player when I was younger. I think it happened at the right time where his music, like his newer sort of like pop leaning music, was coming out around the same time as I was learning how to play guitar. And it was like happening in sync with that I was like hearing all these songs that I wanted to learn how to play, learn how they worked. And that obviously can't be said for Jimi Hendrix because he was long gone before I got into his music properly. And even then, I don't think I ever really gave a chance to Hendrix as much as I maybe should have as a student of the guitar. Santana to me was always easy to get into. Like I never had to like think about it. Like it's not like it never felt like smart music, quote unquote. You know what I mean? It never felt like thinky music to me, even though it's beautiful and like, you know, melodically complex at times. I think older Santana stuff also phenomenal. Like the more I get into his music, the more I dive further back into his discography, and you know, trying to find videos of him playing at Woodstock with when he played Soul Sacrifice at Woodstock. I watch that video every now and then. I just got goosebumps thinking about it. I watch that video every now and then if I feel like I should, you know, if I need to get my ass back in gear, like to practice guitar and stuff. Like I watch videos like that of Santana, but I don't find myself watching videos like that of Hendrix. Okay. You know? So
Sure.
I would say Santana.
Sure. I got two more in the lightning round, and we're going to switch directions again on you.
Okay.
Let me ask AC/DC or Guns N' Roses?
Twiddles thumbs with excitement. I would say Guns N' Roses as well, because I don't think Guns N' Roses were so far removed from my coming of age as an appreciator of that kind of music as AC/DC were, maybe. So I felt like Guns N' Roses felt a little more contemporary to me, felt like it applied It felt more resonant with me and like the kind of energy I had when I was a kid, the kind of emotions I had. I think the first Guns N' Roses song I ever heard was probably Sweet Child of Mine, and then like obviously Appetite for Destruction. That whole album is in rock canon, of course, but I appreciate that as the evolution of the band transpired, as the human relationships changed, the music took on an entirely different tone. It started sounding more epic and more conceptual, more progressive. Like, I love that. I love Use Your Illusions. I love both the Use Your Illusions albums more than I love Appetite for Destruction, even though Appetite for Destruction has a very special place in my heart. I have endless admiration for people like Slash and Izzy Stradlin and Axl Rose as songwriters. And I think for me, the natural progression from like the first things I heard growing up were like Alan Parsons Project. Like, that's what I remember being on in the car stereo on my way home from school when my dad would pick me up or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I felt like the later Guns N' Roses stuff was a sort of like, it was almost like a good progression for me to sort of listen to these two different things back to back. AC/DC has a very distinct sound, I'll say. I think that they are, for better or worse, kind of a one-trick pony, but they do that one trick really well.
Great. Yeah.
They do the trick really, really well. So they fulfill their value proposition really, really well, but they only have one of them. And I don't think that the same can be said for Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses has a much wider spectrum of kinds of songs. Like, I think the first Guns N' Roses song that blew my mind was Estranged. Like, that's probably my favorite song of theirs, of their whole discography. And I don't know if a lot of people share the same sentiment, because the obvious ones are Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, things like that. But yeah, I think that's like something I respect as musicians too. It's like they kept changing up their sound, they kept switching it up to reflect their, changing selves, their changing relationships. I like that.
Cool.
Hold on, Colin. I got one for him. Off the cuff. Definitely off the cuff. Okay. And I don't think this will be in any of our 5-on-5s. So,
okay.
And I just want to hear his take on this, because I think he'll have a good take on this. So, Led Zeppelin or Rush?
Oh, God damn it, man!
I've been waiting for the white guess for that. I'm so glad you asked that.
God damn it, bro. Okay, all right. I have thoughts about this. So, also again, I gotta preface this by saying I didn't listen to Rush as much as I listened to Zeppelin, because I feel like I kind of overlooked Rush when I went from listening to like 80s hair metal and then immediately into like more modern like prog math metal, like tech metal type music. Somewhere along the way I skipped over the sort of adjacent parts of music like Dream Theater and Rush. I didn't get to Dream Theater and Rush until after I heard all these people who were influenced by them, and then like saw that in every single interview there'd be like, oh, John Petrucci from Dream Theater is my favorite guitarist, or Alex Lifeson from Rush is my favorite guitarist, or whatever. And so I got into it later on. I think Rush's stuff is a little conceptually heavy and heady for me.
Okay.
And sometimes I like that. Like, sometimes I like the sort of like epic hero saga conceptual stories and stuff like that. I love Coheed and Cambria. Like, I loved all of their albums that were made a story, right?
Love that.
I don't think I dug into Rush maybe as much as I should have. But Led Zeppelin, I feel like I can say comfortably Led Zeppelin over Rush, because again, tremendous respect for the individuals who play in the band as well, because Jimmy Page, astrophysicist type dude, right?
Yeah.
He revolutionized guitar playing, guitar songwriting, guitar production. I think as far as sonic innovators go, Led Zeppelin is, again, in a strata of their own, I would say. It's funny, I was just listening to, on my way home to record this, I was listening to the Nine Inch Nails cover of Immigrant Song. Because I saw the girl with the dragon tattoo, and the intro song is this Nine Inch Nails cover, and I was like, wow, this is the only cover I've heard that's actually good. Because people will try to imitate and people will try to replicate the sound and energy that Led Zeppelin have. You guys know that band Greta Van Fleet,
Yeah.
right? They're popularly known as Dead Zeppelin or Bread Zeppelin,
yeah.
or Diet Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, people have shown that sound it's possible to recreate it, but you can't make something for the first time again. Obviously. So I think that even Led Zeppelin had like a great sense of progression from their albums. Every album sounded like its own thing within a larger evolutionary story of what Led Zeppelin was as a band. So I would say Zeppelin for sure.
Okay.
Colin, I got one more.
Run it.
I'm sorry. I got one more.
Okay, but it's got to be a this or that, and then we're going to take it to the big question.
Fair. This or that. Peter Frampton or John Bon Jovi?
Not super familiar with Peter Frampton's work, so I would have to go Bon Jovi just because of the number of hits I have memorized from my childhood.
Okay. Colin.
Listen to Frampton Comes Alive. It's one of the greatest records ever recorded.
Amazing. The live version.
I'll mail you a copy on vinyl if you have a record.
Okay. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Everyone needs that record. It's fucking.
Yeah, I have it on vinyl too.
And then we will bring you back on the show and talk about Peter Frampton.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Holy mother, that guy's talented. We like to wrap up the lightning round with this question. It's gross. Everyone hates us for it. Outcast or Hall & Oates?
Bro, this is mean, bro. What do you mean, Outcast or Hall & Oates, man? I'm physically uncomfortable thinking about that.
Good job, boys. We'll see you later. Take care.
Back it up.
Shit. Okay. Let me say what I like about each one, right, before I pick, so I can sound like I have a decision to make, right? So I can that I'm at all capable of reaching a decision on this. Anyway, Outkast, like I was saying about rap music, didn't get into it until I was a freshman in college. Like I didn't get into anything besides Speakerboxxx and The Love Below because that was the one CD I had at home, and that had The Way You Move, and it had Hey Ya, right, on it. Those two songs were so big that I was like, oh, this song is cool. I could listen to it over and over again, but I don't think I got into the back end of their discography until a lot later. Hall & Oates. Where do you start with Hall & Oates? Like, every song bangs ultimately hard. Like, and they're mixed so well. They're mixed in an era that is just a forgotten era of how people made music and how people came to adopt. Like, they perfectly crossed over between analog and digital music making and music production, right? Don't they have didn't their drum machine win a Grammy? Like there's an award to one of the drum machines they used.
Oh wow.
On what's the name of the album? I don't remember, but whichever
Big
one
Boom or whatever. Or
yeah.
Big Bang,
yeah. And I listen. If I gotta be perfectly honest, I listen to more Hall & Oates now than I listen to Outkast. So, if you find me on the street in a convertible, blaring Maneater or I Can't Go For That, mind your business. Like,
that's awesome.
I would say Hall & Oates. That's just the way I lean in that sense.
This is definitely a safe place to have that opinion, as we all are Hall & Oates stands as well.
Hell yeah.
2 Chainz has a good flip on I Can't Go For That.
I just heard that like 2 days ago.
$$. I'm for it.
It was good.
Wait, what? That exists?
Yeah,
I need it.
It's good.
Too.
I'm also a $$. Stan, so I love that.
Same.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Neek, you're up.
Yes.
It's time to eat.
So that concludes the lightning round. Good job.
Thank you.
I hope you're uncomfortable. It wasn't fun. So I have a couple hypotheticals because they're fun. So congratulations, you've been offered a deal with a fast food chain of your choosing to make a meal a la Travis Scott. So where is the Hotel Garuda meal, and what is it?
Okay. All right. And it has to be like a megalodon corporate fast food chain, right?
Yes, it cannot be like, I don't know where you are in the country, but like
LA.
it can't be In and Out.
Okay,
Yeah,
it can't be
In and Out.
It has to be. It has to be
It can't be
national.
Nobu.
Yeah.
It has to be. Yeah,
Okay,
it has to be.
alright.
Yeah, and it can't be. It has to be national and embarrassing, honestly.
Okay.
I
did
will
it-
allow you, if you're one of those people, to bring back certain items off a menu that doesn't exist.
Okay. All right. Shit. They have Jack in the Box everywhere, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So probably Jack in the Box, or as I like to call it, Jay in the Bay.
Jay in the Bay.
Of course. I'm a big fan of Jack in the Box because I lived a block away from one my senior year in college, which coincided with the sort of like when I started to tour a bunch more and like we started to get booked. I ate a lot of Jack in the Box because I would be up late networking in Hollywood, right? Networking, not
Networking in
partying,
Hollywood.
networking,
100%.
networking at clubs in Hollywood, trying to meet people. and I would come home and the only thing that would be open would be this Jack in the Box down the street, and I ate there more times than I would care to admit. And I feel like everyone in college has that one place you go to too many times, and then you're like, okay, I need to come back to this in a few years.
Yeah.
It was like that. So I would say they had the Munchies meal. I forget if there was like a mozzarella stick item, and I forget if it was a sandwich or if it was a wrap or something. But there was a sandwich that had mozzarella sticks and like a chicken patty or something in it, right? The Hotel Garuda meal would be that sandwich, mini churros, right? And
Right.
a vanilla milkshake on the side, no whipped cream.
Okay.
No whipped cream. Dip the churros in the milkshake for dessert. And if you're extra spicy, like me, curly fries as well on the side. Dip those in the milkshake prior to the burger. Eat the burger. And then you have this like sort of savory, sweet, salty, sweet action to dip your churros in. Oh my god, bro.
Better remove.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that
Better
it comes
remove.
with it's a
It comes with instructions too.
Yeah.
It comes
Yep.
with instructions.
A
Yep,
riddle
yep.
for-
I love it.
Yeah, there's an entire rhythm to it. You eat the fries and they kind of like they evolve how your milkshake is going to taste.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
salts the milkshake just in
Yes.
time for the churros to be dropped in and
For the
sweeten it
churros
back
to
up.
get involved.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's
That's
a
a-
remove. I like it.
That's strong. I love that.
And maybe what's the drink? Let's see.
Oh,
Coca-Cola.
the drink is not the
Fountain.
milkshake.
The drink is not the milkshake. The milkshake is dessert.
I like it.
Oh,
I like
Okay.
Yeah. The milkshake
You gotta choose
is
a
part
beverage.
of the appetizer and the dessert.
mm.
Does that make sense? Because
Yes.
I
Oh,
said
absolutely.
I did say we
It's
dipped
the link
fries.
in the chain between dinner and
Yes.
dessert.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
More places should include an appetizer milkshake. Now that I
Dude,
think.
that's what I'm saying. Just like a small, like, just like half the size of the kid's size, just to dip your fries
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the nice restaurant. Sit down. Here's a milkshake to get you started.
in. Let me get you some menus. Here's a milkshake.
So also another hypothetical that I mean I feel like may have been on the show before, but
Okay.
I personally love to insert myself into any given situation, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but I have invented a time machine, and lucky you get to go wherever you want, whenever you want. Where are you going, and when are you going to? Is that how you would ask that question?
Oh,
When are you
where-
going, and where are
where,
you
dude,
going?
Yeah.
Easy.
When in time
Easy.
and where are you going?
Easy. I'm not even going that far back, dude. Like,
He's going in tomorrow.
I'm going to.
He's going to the future just tomorrow.
I'm going to Daft Punk's last live performance
Ooh.
at Alive 2007 Sahara tent at Coachella. That will be the one thing that I will regret more than anything else, is not being of age yet or not having grown an appreciation of their music yet, because the impact that it has had on me as a person, as a creative, much more than transcends.
Move your mic up real quick.
Every other artist I listen to. I feel like Daft Punk is it oscillates between number 1 and 2 for them. Like for me, it's oscillating between Daft Punk, Tame Impala, Alan Parsons Project. Those are the holy trinity for me. And everything else is ancillary. Everything else is auxiliary to these things, to me. And Daft Punk Alive 2007 was the initial swell of a wave before it had even started. And everything from that point, it was forever affected by that pyramid light show, the music, all of it. Electronic music changed overnight almost after that happened. I feel like there were inklings of it, there were suggestions at times, but nothing was fully crystallized, realized like that show was. You know, even Justice 100% took cues from Daft Punk's original lighting setup and things like that. They're very much people who I would consider to be influenced by Daft Punk and sort of like handheld by them and like coached by them in a sense.
Absolutely. To
be a fly on the wall around these people hanging out would be priceless to me. That's that's by a long shot. I would say that's where I would go in history.
Okay.
I have a couple questions, and Travis, I want to pass it to you, but I got to drop 2 questions in really quick.
No, hey man, go ahead, bro.
I know a lot of people are familiar with your work with the Hotel Garuda and the project. We also have a lot of listeners that may be hearing you for the first time.
Okay.
What remix or original? Give us an original and a remix that they should start with.
That's hard. That's like, I worked on all of them, so I have to like. It's like picking which one of your children you like the most. Right. Even though they're the kind of children who like you had, but you kind of don't like pay attention to them anymore. You know what I mean? Like once I put a song out,
pick a child.
Like for me, it should be easy, right? It should be so easy. I feel like how I view my own music also changes over time, like how I view the stuff I've put out. And the earlier stuff prior to a year and a half ago was all made with Manila Killa, who is my roommate. And we used to be a duo. Now it is just me. And as such, I feel like people who listen to my music now are definitely conflicted sometimes when they're like, wait, I thought you guys just made house music. I was like, first of all, it's not you guys anymore. Just so you guys know. First of all, it's just me. And as of late, the music has taken a different turn. The music has taken a different meaning, given that I'm the sole creative force behind it. Now, with that being said, the remix that I would start with would be our remix for Ultraviolence by Lana Del Rey. Okay. That was the first like big, huge remix opportunity we got. And we only got that remix opportunity because we did a bootleg remix of Summertime Sadness by Lana Del Rey. We did this bootleg remix and threw it up on SoundCloud, you know, back in the days when people used SoundCloud. Put it up on SoundCloud, and it lived there. And honestly, like, our touring career basically can be traced back to like 1 or 2 songs. And I can't speak for Chris on this necessarily, but Chris is Manila Killa, right? I can't speak for him entirely on this, but it even sort of kickstarted the touring side of his solo career. And that it's kind of what brought us together. It kind of is what gave us our first sort of, you know, kickstart into touring and into being recognized. So that Summertime Sadness remix catapulted us into doing this Lana Del Rey official remix for Ultraviolence. Still one of my favorite songs we've ever made. And we made that remix in 4 days because we had just the tightest deadline. I think they emailed us and they were like, "Hey guys, we just heard your remix of Summertime Sadness." And this was like the week before their remix package was due to be turned in for her new album at the time. Because obviously Summertime Sadness was an old song by that point. Summertime Sadness remix drops. A week later, 2 weeks later, we get this email from them. They're like, hey, would you guys be interested in doing a remix off one of her, off her new album? We're like, obviously, yes. You're not going to pay us? No worries, dude. We'll take the exposure, bro. We're good. We'll take the exposure. Let's go. So we get the stems, and it's like, these stems are not easy to work with, I'll say. It's like they harken back to an older method of recording and an older method of production. There are just a lot of different things baked into a stem that I wished we would have had the chance to separate. Like in her vocal stem, you can hear parts of the guitar, you can hear parts of the drums. It's in a very sort of like I don't want to say archaic, like it's bad, but it's just a more old school method of recording. So we had limitations in that sense to work with, because we're trying to recreate, we're trying to make our own instrumental behind this song. And so we slaved over it for 3-4 days straight, almost didn't sleep, and turned it in, and didn't realize that our master bus was clipping the whole fucking time. Like we had redlined the whole instrumental, we had redlined the whole thing. We sent it to them, and they were like, we love it. And I was like, okay, cool.
Sick.
Let me know when you need the waves and stuff. So by the time that blew over, by the time that they said they liked it, I think we had enough time to like fix the little things and like mix and master it properly and shit. But it was honestly as speedy as finish the song, export it, send it to the person. Like that was the speed at which we had to operate at that time. So I would say that's a good jumping off point for the remixes. As for the originals, I don't know what is a good one to suggest off top, because I feel like we didn't really know what we wanted to make as artists when it came to original music, because we were so comfortable in the paradigm of the remix making world where you're already given a song, you're already given a structure to work with, and it makes that part of the job a lot less guesswork. You know what I mean? Like the vocal is, by and away the thing that catches people more than anything. And I don't think we ever fully understood how important the songwriting was, how difficult it was for there to be sort of a defining original song. The way, I'll say this with a lot of respect and love, the way a lot of our peers had their first or their big first original song break out. I say that with respect because I love my boys and I've seen the music my friends have made, and I can attest to their work ethic, so that it doesn't piss me off. It just felt like we were kind of shooting fish in a barrel, or like trying to shoot fish in a barrel, and like just trying to get top lines and vocal demos from whatever artist manager would give us their time of day. Because as it stood, we weren't this is perhaps a conversation for another time, but I think that obviously in electronic dance music there is a bent towards a certain type of looking individual, and that was a paradigm that Chris and I do not adhere to. So I understand that it was more difficult perhaps to market us and to sell us to the higher ups. I understand that. I get it. Everyone's doing their job. I look back in retrospect and wonder why I was not more pissed off about it at the time.
Right.
But I learned from hindsight. It's 2020, I think that had we been made more aware of the sort of tools that were at a lot of people's disposals, we may have taken stronger initiative to make a more clinical, a more decisive opening statement with regards to original music. That being said, I did release my solo debut EP earlier this year, which I'm very proud of. I love those songs. The song Olivia from that EP is my favorite song that I have made. It's the first time I got the chance to sort of pick the team that I was working with and pick the people that sort of influenced the overall arc of the EP of the songs. And I will shill that as the original. I will shill Olivia as the original to start with, because it doesn't sound like any of the older stuff, but I feel like it's a greater suggestion of where the music is gonna go going forward than perhaps the older music was. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I do want to share a couple numbers for listeners at home. 283,910 monthly listeners on Spotify for Hotel Garuda.
That's sick.
Those aren't small numbers.
22 million plays on the Banks remix of Beggin' for Thread. 22 million on Spotify.
That's fucking rad.
Those aren't small numbers.
We want to commend you for that,
Yes.
man.
Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Here are your flowers, man.
Holy moly. I'm gonna ask
It's
one more
scary
question.
though. It's scary
ahead,
trying to
sorry.
live up to numbers. You know what I mean? Like when you have one song pop off, you like second guess every single decision you make in the works following because you're like, is it gonna live up to that standard? And I feel like a lot of people expected the first original music that came out from us to hit them as hard as that Banks remix did. And you know, for better or worse, I just don't think the songs, and by the songs I mean the underlying song, not the production. I mean the songs were not as good as that Banks song. And I don't think we quite properly hit our stride as far as songwriters came. As far as the songwriting process goes, I don't think either of us hit our stride either at the same time or at the right time or together. I don't think we hit our stride at all. We were kind of just relying on other people's songwriting to enhance our production or to make way for our production. So I think it's something I learned again in hindsight because I'm a fucking idiot. But I think in hindsight I know that it's entirely random when it comes to songs popping off. It's more random than it isn't. And while I may be able to, you know, while I may have the comfort of my friends telling me they like my songs and my peers validating my work, validation doesn't quite pay the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's a constant tug of war. It's a constant tug of war between, am I making this because I want to make it, or am I making this because I need it to put a roof over my head, or pay this bill, or pay that bill, whatever.
Yeah. Real quick, Travis, and we're passing to you. What's your daily workflow look like? How much time do you dedicate in your DAW, or how much time? What's your schedule look like on a day?
Honestly, I don't know if this is the right or wrong answer, but my schedule is pretty open-ended most of the time, and I try to like inject it with routine in the ways that I can. So I have a Peloton, which is next to me. I love my Peloton. I bike the shit out of it. It's the only way I will get exercise because I'm not a big outdoorsy person. I love staying inside, leave the house only to complete the mission, return to the house. I try to work out as much as I can now, especially being that, you know, I'm indoors all the time and the bike is literally next to my bed. I can get out of bed, get on the bike, and do that before everything else in the day. As far as music making goes, I feel like okay. It took me a while to realize this, but I'm not one of those kinds of people that like makes music just because making music satisfies me. I think there's people who make music and it just pours out of them. Like they open Ableton and it just pours out of them. And there are certain people who have to have sort of like a mental vision board of like what this song means to them and what they are trying to what they're trying to create that will bring that feeling to them. Like for me, I love DJing. I pride myself more on my abilities as a DJ than I do as a producer, and that's that's a balance I'm constantly trying to equalize. I'm trying to get better as a producer because I know that I need to live up to the DJing that I want to do in my head. Like the shows that I want to play are the music that I want to make them for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So for me, if I feel like it's a day where I'm opening up Ableton and I just have something in my head that I need to notate, I need to put it down to the DAW. I have two computers. I have this one that I'm chatting with you guys on, and I have my workstation with it, which is just like a MIDI keyboard, a big curved monitor, and my headphones. And if I really feel like I need to just put something down, I'll open Ableton and do it. If I don't, I don't really force it. I don't really have like a set time in the day to start and stop working. I feel like for me it's very much a flow state kind of thing. I have a hard time clocking in and out of music. Perhaps it's a thing that I could improve my discipline with, and I have an appreciation for people who say that just showing up is part of the job. So just trying something is more than that could be said for a lot of people. So I make it my mission to at least try to do something as often as I can. But dude, I feel like people who make music expect so much out of themselves, and you're constantly weighed by not only your expectations of yourself, but others' expectations of you. And it's very difficult sometimes to sort of put that aside and just kind of think, let me empty my brain into this DAW. Let me empty my feelings into this DAW. It's not often as simple as that, you know?
So going back on expectations, so after your Banks hit, or after the Lana Del Rey hits, and it hits, right? What is the thought process of going into the studio and making your next song? Because are you thinking of making another hit, or are you thinking, you know, okay, I'm just gonna put out some music, and of course, you know, goes with expectations. So your friends are gonna expect you to make another hit. You know, the industry is expecting you to make another hit. What are you expecting out of that, and what is the thought process of moving past a hit into the next song or the next hit?
Right. I saw a tweet that often finds itself on my timeline. It often gets retweeted into my timeline at like particularly prescient moments. And Scream, right, the UK artist, he tweeted, "Your career doesn't start until 10 years after your first hit." That's when you actually have a career, because anyone can have a moment. We've seen countless moments come and go. We've seen so many. That's why the phrase "one hit wonder" exists, right? So I try to take it with a pinch of salt, because maybe back then when I was 22, 23, I don't think I understood the expectations that other people had. I kind of just thought we were having fun making music, and for some reason people liked it enough to book us to DJ places, so I guess we'll do more of that. I guess, like, why complain if the going's good, you know? I don't think I ever really examined the why of it. I don't think I ever really like either cared enough to question why I was doing what I was doing. It just felt right. It just felt like we were doing what was natural to us at the time. And as the songs came out, as more songs came out, as we had songs that did well, songs that didn't do as well, that's when the questions sort of start building up in your head about, like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I want to, like, what makes me open Ableton? Why do I do it on a daily, weekly, whatever? And I tricked myself into thinking for the longest time that I was someone who made music just because music makes me happy. Like, I totally had myself bamboozled. And I convinced myself without a shadow of a doubt that I was the kind of person that, like, just needed to express myself by music all the time. And, for better or worse, I think it took this year, this isolation, this quarantine, this, like, real, like, solitary examination of my motive, of myself, to let me sort of arrive not abruptly, not embattled. It sort of helped me naturally arrive at this conclusion that I could see that there was a direct translation from DJ sets to wanting to make music to play in those DJ sets, and wanting to have that be the means to the end for me. And I think it crystallized itself this year, and it only really sort of made itself clear in the last sort of year and a half, where I wanted to go with the music. So I feel a renewed sense of direction, a renewed sense of why I do it, which is good, because I don't think I knew why I wanted to do it for the longest time.
So what advice would you give producers, up and coming producers, and up and coming DJs?
Okay. This is tough. This is possibly the worst and the best time to be entering our field, to be entering the live performance field, because one, there are no shows.
Right.
And there are not going to be normal shows for a long time, in my opinion. In my opinion, things are not going to go back to normal till at least spring 2022. And that's a very liberal estimate to me. That's my liberal estimate. I think things will go back to normal fall of next year, fall of 2022, in my personal opinion. And I'm not just being a downer. I'm just being like, man, have you seen how it's been bungled at every turn? How every subsequent step, it's 2 steps back. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I feel like to producers, I would just focus on finding out what you're good at is really, really important. And leaning into that and making the most out of it is possibly the best thing you could do. Let's say you make 10 different styles of songs, each of which falls under a certain genre. Like, you make 100 rap beats, make 100 house beats, make 100 of whatever beats. And, it's hard to look at your own work with a critical, through a critical lens, but maybe you take some time and you don't listen to them for, a week, a month, 2 months, or whatever. Make a bunch of things, set them aside. Make another bunch of things, set it aside. Make a bunch of things, set it aside. And then when you feel like you've exhausted sort of the current realms of your creative possibilities, you listen back to the things you've made, and you cherry pick, and you figure out where the nuggets are, where the golden nuggets are, and sort of use that to find your sound, use that to find your style. I think making more music is the answer to how do I get better at producing. Because that's probably the most common question. How do I get better at making music, or how do I make my songs sound as good as this song or that song or whatever? Obviously there's, YouTube tutorials, there's endless online resources to like get better at the technical aspect of it. But some things are not as cut and dried as turn a knob to this position and, just let it go. Some things you have to, it takes sort of like a muscle memory and like it's a learned connection, right? It's a learned activity, I guess. So for producers, I would say make as many things as you can, as much as you can, until you find that you make 10 great things that sound somewhat similar. Call it an album, find a manager, and you're good. For DJs, it's a bit of a different question as well, because nowadays any DJ can play any type of music, and all it takes is a couple of days of digging through Spotify and a couple of days of digging through record pools, and you can find what's hot. You can find what's hot right now. You can find what was hot last month, what was hot 2 months ago, and as such, you can find the pulse of what people are listening to live and what people expect live. And I think we have record pools to thank for the, abundance of people wanting to DJ, because I think I signed up for a record pool before I started touring. I signed up for a record pool literally just because I wanted to download all of these songs that I loved at the time. And it happened coincidentally that we started to tour and started to DJ live after that. But I think a record pool is a great way to sort of keep your ear to the ground. What people are playing, what sort of suggestions are being made about the way that club music, the live DJing is going to go in the near future. So I feel like every month or two you'll see a song in a record pool that you click on it, you listen to it, and you're like, oh wait, this is different. This is not just like everything else in the pool. This is not just like everything else on this list. And I don't know, paying attention to those things kind of helps you navigate the trend demands of the live DJing consumer, right? Like you guys must remember when fucking Panda by Designer came out, and every EDM DJ was playing that song because it was in the same sort of tempo range as all of the other trap music and dubstep music that was in the same sort of swell of popularity at the time. And all it took was one song being mixed a particular way and, you know, a certain rapper and a certain flow to make it crossover from audience to audience. So if you find a song in a record pool that you're like, oh, I play at a, this is a random example, but I play at a house night, but this is sort of house adjacent, not house, but this is not that far off from house. So I'm going to test it out, play it out in that context. And valuable experience is learned that way. That's how you sort of like develop your style as a DJ, is by expressing yourself in your song selection. And I think that the technical, like literally DJing as muscle memory is not that difficult. Like I was Colin, like I think you and I can both attest to this, like 'cause we've both known each other as DJs for a long time. But if you give a monkey 2 turntables and a mixer, eventually they'll figure out what the knobs and buttons do.
Right.
And you know, for a lot of people, that's the end. That's like, you know, if you figure out how to do mixing, that's the end of the road for a lot of people. But if you figure out how to tell a story with a mix, how you figure out how to set the arc of a mood for a whole night, I mean, that's what separates people who like listening to music and people who can DJ.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I figure cultivating that sense of energy flow, that ebb and flow that's malleable. You can change it with your hands at any given moment. I feel like cultivating that sense is really, really important. Absolutely. If not the most important.
And I like that you touched on record pools, because this podcast is brought to you by DirectMusicService.com. DirectMusicService.com is the #1 record pool in America, in the world, in the universe.
Run it up.
Let's go.
Wearing the shirt too. Fantastic.
Yes. Nika's wearing the shirt too.
Nika's wearing the shirt too.
Yeah. Travis,
yes,
take him to the movie realm.
Okay. All right. So I am the movie buff.
We're getting out of the water.
We are getting out of the water a little bit. Yes.
We're on our way out. We're about to dry off. It's almost over.
Yes. Yes. So I am the movie buff of the group. And,
okay.
We have developed a DJ biopic cinematic universe just like that. Right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. Just like that. So, in our DJ biopic cinematic universe, who is playing you? It could be an actor or somebody in the music industry turned actor, a la Ludacris, dead or alive.
Kumail Nanjiani, for sure, bro. For sure. For sure. Yes. He can grow the mustache out, right?
Yes.
He can grow the mustache out.
Yep.
He's built like a fucking tank.
Yes.
Which will make people think that I'm built like a tank.
You're gonna look great.
I'll look great in that sense.
Yep.
Yeah, easy answer for me. Kumail Nanjiani. For sure.
and he's about to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe too.
Oh, dude, he's teed the fuck up.
Yes.
He's ready.
Yes.
He's primed to pop.
I'm with it. That's a great answer. So along those lines, what movies or TV shows have you been getting into, if you have been, let's say during this pandemic lockdown time?
Favorite things that I've seen. I watch a lot of soccer documentaries.
Okay.
I watch a lot of just
Ted
like
Lasso?
Yep, Ted Lasso was great. I love that show. Yes. I think it is what was missing from like it's what was missing from the TV that I was watching.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like I think it filled a void that was left by Parks and Rec and It's Always Sunny.
Yes.
I think it filled that void so beautifully for me. I love Jason Sudeikis.
Yes.
Big fan of him.
Yes.
He's one of the good whites in my book. Let's put it that way. He's
Colin.
One of the good whites. Colin is also on that list. Indeed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Love Jason Sudeikis. He's great in that. I watched there's a couple of soccer series called All or Nothing
Okay.
So they have one. They have one on Manchester City's 2016 season, Tottenham Hotspur's current season 2019. They have one on the Brazilian national team going into the last Copa America.
Okay.
Those documentaries are great. I love all of those. I've been getting into like true crime docs just because of my girlfriend, because she's a huge true crime buff.
Yes.
I watched. This isn't a doc. This is like a dramatization. But The Murders at Hill House.
Oh yes.
Is that the one?
Yes,
was
absolutely.
that the one?
Murder at Hill House. No, Haunting of Hill House.
Sorry.
Haunting
Okay, I'm
of
thinking.
Hill House.
What is that? Murders at. Shit. Hold on.
Murder on.
It was on HBO Max.
Murder on Middle Beach.
Oh wait. Okay. So that one I watched, and I was very disappointed by it, because it was
I haven't watched that yet.
I was just like,
I know about it, but I haven't watched it.
It was just left unresolved.
Yes,
and
it was.
And I have a huge I have a bugbear with true crime shits that end unresolved. Like Unsolved Mysteries. My girlfriend loves that show. I hate it because they're unsolved, bro.
They tell you in the title you should not watch it.
For real.
We all watch one together. That's funny.
Like Resolutions.
I found it. The one I found that I really liked was The Murders at White House Farm.
Ooh.
It's a dramatization of some real life murders that happened in the UK. And the craziest thing is all the actors who play the people who are in the story all look like them.
Oh, wow.
They look exactly like them.
I love when they
love that shit.
Yeah, I love when the casting director gets everything right. I love that.
Yeah, it was fire. What did I see? Cheshire Murders? No, I didn't see that. I've seen so many true crime things that I can't even name them off the top of my head. I feel like they just go into a bucket in my head where I'm just like, oh, I watched this one now. Cool.
I love it.
I live for shit that talks about like anything around the Zodiac Killer, Ted Bundy, like all the famous serial killer shit. Anything that pops up like that that's a Netflix original. If it shows the N Netflix in the corner, I'm in, bro. I'm in.
Yes.
What was the really good one? It's driving me nuts. But the cop, he's going to jail and he interviews like oh my god, I'm the worst. He's looking for John Wayne Gacy, I think, and he has to.
Yeah. Shit. Fuck.
Like it's a fictional drama of this cop. No, it's not fictional. It's based on a book.
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Mindhunter was great.
Fire.
Solid.
Mindhunter was great, and Manhunt is great too.
Did you guys watch The Staircase?
Yes.
I haven't.
Yes.
The Staircase was nutty, dude.
Colin, I thought you had watched it.
Have I?
I thought you have.
The crazy dude who writes the books, he's like an author, and then all of a sudden his wife turns up like at the bottom of the staircase dead, and there's blood all over the place. He's like, I didn't do it.
He's like, I'm gonna do it.
Well, see, after the Bee Gees documentary, I don't know what I've watched and what I haven't watched.
Oh, well, this is well before that.
Okay.
Right.
The Bee Gees just took me to an oasis where.
Oh, dude, same.
Yeah, that documentary.
Dude, Bee Gees doc was so sick. I love that. I mean, I watched that like a couple of weeks ago, but I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
It was
I think.
so good.
We have to talk to you about Clubhouse.
Oh yes, Chatty House. Chatty House. I call it Chatty House.
I'm not really in it. Like I mean, somebody sent me an invite, and I'm like, I have the app, so like.
Yeah.
I get notifications all the time. So and 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 so are in a room talking about something. And 99% of the time, it's like, do I care about this person's opinion about this?
Right.
It's the first question is, do I care about this person's opinion? Second question is, who is this group of people dick riding right now?
Yep.
Why are they dick riding them?
Yep.
And if I'll examine that and it comes to my mind that person is worth dick riding, I'll check it out. But I haven't really I don't think I've found anything sort of stimulating my curiosity in that sense.
And
it just feels like a lot of industry people talking about industry shit.
Yes.
And that's Clubhouse. Just that. And we're done.
Yeah.
Chatty House. We're done with that.
Cool.
Real quick, on the way out, we have this thing that I've been doing called One Word. I'm going to tell you a word, and you tell us the first word that comes to your mind. It's going to be 3 quick questions, and then you are on your way, sir. Name, what is EDM in one word?
Tired.
What is Daft Punk in one word?
Holy.
Okay. I got a couple more, actually. What is Call of Duty in one word?
How?
How?
What is Jai Wolf in one word?
Brown.
Okay, and what is Hotel Garuda in one word?
Browner.
And that is one word.
Yes.
We appreciate you so much.
We do.
Let the people know where they can find you, what you're working on, if you're streaming.
Hey, hold up. He's dropped so many gems. I gotta say, appreciate you again, man. The gems that you dropped on this episode has been amazing. So
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the chat. It was all rather stimulating conversation, though I do say so myself.
It was.
Glad to have had this convo.
Yeah. Let everyone know where they can find you, what you're working on right now, your favorite restaurant, anything you want to tell. Now is your chance.
Hotel Garuda on every platform. Simple as that. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think my website is hotelgarudamusic.net because I didn't have the fucking domain name. For hotelgaruda.com, I slipped. I missed out.
Crazy.
Apparently, a hotel in Indonesia actually has that.
Oh wow.
So, as you can imagine, I have been getting inundated with the occasional spam email asking me how much it costs for 6 nights at my facility. This has been, honestly, for the last 6 years, the only spam I consistently get is the same email that says, how much would it cost for 6 priests to book 7 nights at your facility?
Wow.
Over and over. Like every year without fail, I get that email. Every single year. Anyway.
Wow.
You have to reply, right?
I don't know if it's definitely a bot email because it's a different email address every single time.
You should reply with your newest single every time.
Check it out. Peep my mixtape, family.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you know the price. Yeah, Hotel Garuda on all platforms.
That email was collectively sent by Daft Punk, and he never.
Yes.
Oh my god, it was a
The
coded
bots.
message. I'm gonna learn about this in 70 years. Like, there's gonna be some documentary about how, like, oh yeah, we sent a bunch of coded messages to a few people on the internet. One of them just sent us one of his songs. God damn, bro.
Oh, I love it.
Are you doing the Twitch thing? Can they find you on Twitch?
Not very much right now. I'm just trying to figure out the music stuff and like sort of do some sort of creative direction for myself for the new project. I'm cultivating the vibes, influences. Vibes are being distilled, cultivated, expanded upon, condensed, evaporated, and so on and so forth.
Love it.
Yeah, percolating new music, percolating new ideas, new creative things to look out for in the future.
Good.
Oh yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us, man.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll have you back when you get your new project out.
Yes, for sure. I would
Yeah.
love to. Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys sitting through my pseudo scholarly vocabulary.
No, man,
love
bro.
it.
All gems. All gems.
Thank you.
Yes.
Everyone stay safe. Everyone behave yourselves. Let me take a look at the schedule here. Next week we have DJ Bonix.
Big homie Bonix.
Yeah, Bonix will be able to share a bunch of Wiz Khalifa stories and
Taylor
life on
gang.
the road with him.
Way cooler than me. Damn.
Some Ty Dolla $ign stories too.
Well, this is good because your book ended with we had Craze 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
Yeah.
we're right there. The nice in between from straight rap and drum and bass chaos. You sit nicely between that because
Hell
you
yeah.
vibes and
Yes.
and we appreciate that.
Amazing.
So thank you again, gentlemen.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, wear your masks, and have a good new year.
Mask up.
Peace.